there's been a lot of talk about other voice actors you might have worked with, so I just want to know, who have you most enjoyed working with as another voice actor?
Ooh, again, that's like picking your favorite child. Here's one thing I can say, like when I started getting into the whole acting world, I mean, like most voice actors actually, I started off in theater, and then I was with a theater called the Vancouver Youth Theater, because I was like 14 years old. And there was an agency that was right across the street that was kind of watching the kids that were coming to the theater. And they approached me and my sister, because we were both in the theater together, and asked if we wanted to join the agency, and they'd start sending us out on auditions and things. So I started off doing, you know, on-camera work for, you know, TV shows and commercials and things like that. And then eventually I had my first audition for a cartoon, which just so happened to be My Little Ponytails. And I got it, and I loved it. And you know, I don't do on-camera work anymore, and one of the big reasons that I think that is I never really enjoyed auditioning for on-camera stuff. Loved being on set. Once I was booked and on set, I had a great time. But the whole audition process, very competitive, not a lot of conversation between actors and things like that. And here's the big flip with voice acting. All the voice actors that I get to work with are such good people. Really nice people. Like, I mean, even if there's a bunch of us in studio auditioning for the same character, they're just so supportive of everybody else, and that makes it a real treat to even audition for characters that you don't have a hope of getting. Because it's like, okay, who got it? Oh, Sam Vincent got it? All right. I don't like him because he's working on everything, but he's such a great guy. Like, way to go, Sam. Amazing people, really genuine people, and I can say that not only strictly to the actors in Vancouver, but the voice actors that I met, you know, from all over North America, really, really genuine, nice people. So yeah, I'm really fortunate to be able to work in this business, and I mean, it's kind of a perk when I get to come to England. I've never been to Europe before. This is my first trip out here, and I mean, to be here for this, how cool is that? You know, I'm pretty lucky, pretty happy.
And obviously in these days, it's the age of the movie adaptation. There's so many comics being made into movies, made into series, and now there's a lot of anime that's been made into live action as well. You've got the choice of one character that you can take and play live action. Which would you like to do? Your own characters to take to live action? Yeah.
Oh, that's tricky. You know what? Just given where we're at right now, because I've already seen the Death Note movies and stuff, and I think of a million actors who would do a better job at doing an on-camera version of Light than me, let's go with the new Gundam 00, because I want a Gundam. And if I was doing live action, I'd probably get a Gundam. How cool would that be? I mean, it'd be me and blue screen, but still, you know, to see like me, little old me, walking out of a Gundam, like, that'd be pretty cool. I'd you know, tell my friends, yeah, that's my Gundam, no big deal. But that being said, okay, so I said Gundam 00 just because that's the newest one. But if I was to actually have a Gundam of my very own, I'd have to go back to Wing, and it'd be Sandrock all the way, because the sweetest Gundam that ever lived, I don't know if live's the right word, that ever was, Sandrock. Okay, sorry, let's move on. I'm geeking out a little bit now.
Hi Brad. We were talking about Dragon Ball earlier. Do you miss working on Team Gohan at all? And would you do a Saiyaman related quote, please?
I am the great Saiyaman! Okay, I just made an idiot of myself again. Dragon Ball Z, for those of you that don't know, Dragon Ball Z, as far as the English audio tracks go, started in Vancouver, Canada, where I live. And that was way before Gohan grew up, so I wasn't on the show at all. They did a large batch of episodes, and then it kind of got put on the shelf for a little while. And then it was picked up again, but it was picked up in Texas. So as far as I know, they kind of continued on from where the Vancouver voice cast left off, and then they went back and redid all the stuff that Vancouver cast had done. And then a little while later, we got Dragon Ball Z back up in Vancouver, and we were able to pick up where we had left off. And Gohan grows up, And so, I mean, that was one of the most exciting audition prospects that I ever had, because Dragon Ball Z was already a huge smash hit. And I got a call from the agent saying, yeah, we want you to come in for audition. Oh, what's it for? Dragon Ball Z. Really? Yeah. Who do they want me to read for? His name, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Gohan? Really? Okay, must get this part, must get this part, must get this part. Went in there, got the part. So yeah, I mean, I miss Dragon Ball Z. One thing I don't miss is screaming for 4 hours straight, because that's what Dragon Ball Z is. It's shouting, everything's shouting. And one thing that you couldn't do in Dragon Ball Z is, I shouldn't say if, when there's a scene with your character screaming his lungs out, you can't scream, ah, and have it trail out, because it'll cut away, and when it cuts back, he's still screaming. It could be 20 minutes later and he's still screaming. So everything always had to be up, ah, had to stay there. So you do 4 hours of that, and it'll knock you out. I was working on this, another series that very few people have seen. Is called Earth Maiden Arjuna at the same time. And I played a character named Chris in that. And luckily for me, I could go in the morning and scream for 4 hours straight, and then go in the afternoon and play Chris. But he was a very ethereal character, which was perfect because I didn't have a voice left usually by that time in the afternoon. So, good question.
It sounds like you're very much a fan yourself of the scene. Is that something that was born out of doing the work, or is that something that was there before you went into the voice acting itself?
That was something that came from probably a little movie. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. It was called Akira. Akira, right? Everybody's seen Akira. Well, Akira, like, it had a big influence on me. I'd never seen a cartoon that was that gory before, you know? I was pretty young when I saw it too, so yeah, it left an impression. I'd kind of forgotten about that until I started to get back into anime as far as, you know, working on these shows, and I think that's really what kind of spawned it. It's a style that I am totally interested in. I was lucky enough to spend a little bit of time in Japan when I was like 12 years old. Not that that really means anything, but it gave me like a small taste of the language and the culture, and I think it made it, you know, a bit more of a natural progression in watching some of these shows. And I just dig it. I dig it. And I love all the creativity that shows, like these Spawn. I mean, just look around and see all the costumes. Pretty incredible, right? You know, like the amount of time that people spend making, you know, accurate portrayals of their favorite characters is just mind-blowing. The artwork that I'm given is absolutely incredible, and to have, you know, a common interest with all of you that you know, urges people to lash out creatively. I mean, it's the best of all worlds, I think.
Cool. Your questions?
Famous actors and actresses getting approached for roles in new animated productions as opposed to voice actors who do that for a living, and in series as well, because I've heard that Will Wheaton from Star Trek whatever has just got a role in Naruto, and I assume just because of who he is as opposed to him actually auditioning for the role, and just wondered kind of what you thought about that.
I think it was Pixar that started that, you know? They had all these amazing, you know, full-length feature cartoons that were coming out, and yeah, they're picking A-list Hollywood actors who are like, you know what, I'll do some voice acting, it'll be a goof. Then they get millions and millions of dollars, and I get $3 a line. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the actors that they choose can really do fantastic jobs, and a lot of them. I mean, I'm half joking, because a lot of them, I'm sure, kind of put everything they can into these characters. But it is, especially when it was first starting to happen, it was really discouraging, because you know, and I know a bunch of people that do this professionally, and this is their niche, and to have that kind of taken away, it sucks. It doesn't feel good. But you know what? Whatever.